Hello, everyone. This is Jamie. I am so excited to be here with you. This is our last module, and it is my absolute favorite one. I know I've said that a few times, but this one is the one that made the huge change in my life. But in order to get to this point, in order to make these big shifts, I had to do a lot of work on myself. I had to fall in love with myself again. Well, not fall in love with myself again. We're going to work on that here right now. But I had to find out what I loved. I had to be in the moment. I had to work on changing my mindset. So now that we're working on changing our mindset and we have those foundations down, not that you're not still practicing them. Please keep practicing them. Keep working on your mantra every day. All that good stuff. You're going to start feeling better. You're going to start seeing your life start changing. Be patient. I know when I was going through my breakup course, I was like, I want change now. Now. I want it now. And part of the process of healing is letting go. Honestly, letting go. And I'm a type A personality, a typical teacher. I want everything the way I want it, and I want it now. And I'm an American, and Americans want quick fixes. They want everything to be right now. So, welcome to the club if you're feeling the same exact way. Take a deep breath. In fact, I feel like we should do that right now. Let's take a deep breath in our nose. Oh, feels amazing. Let's do it again. Oh, absolutely amazing. So, I can feel the energy just flowing through my body. It's absolutely amazing. I know I've said that, but it is. It's amazing, and I'm feeling it completely. So this module, we're going to talk about falling in love with ourselves and writing our future. And I have to say, the falling in love with myself and writing my future, I did this with my business coach. And you read her book in the first module. But she had me do this, and I'm not joking with you. This is when I became a true believer. My future has completely unfolded exactly how I put it and put down on paper. And the funny thing is that even though it's unfolded the exact way I had it put down on paper, it's nothing like what I thought it was going to be. It was not like the picture I had in my mind. So the universe meets us. It wants to give us what we want, but sometimes we have this picture in our mind of how it should be, and we really need to let go. And it was a constant practice for me. We really have to let go and trust and know that the universe knows more than we do. Even though sometimes we think that we know more than everyone else, we don't. The universe has it all figured out way before we do. But really just letting go and trusting. And I still have to remind myself every once in a while. When I'm in a very happy relationship, and when I start feeling like I start playing those things in my head, those stories like, does he not miss me? I don't think he misses me. He's not showing me that he misses me. I go to Byron Katie and I say, is it true? Do I really know that he doesn't miss me? No, quit the stories. Enough. And then I say, well, if I'm making these stories up in my head, obviously I'm feeling a lack of something, or I'm trying to control something and it's not working out the exact way I wanted to. So that's when I have to remind myself to just let go and let be, and everything ends up being fine. It's just that every once in a while we're human. Well, actually, we're always human. But we have this tendency to want to control everything or have things done our way. or the way we the exact way we think it should be done, and the universe does it in its own way, and we just need to sit back and be okay with that and trust that that's the best that life has to offer us, because it is. Okay, so let's move into falling in love with yourself. The best thing, and it was at the end of the course for me as well, the best thing my coach had me do was write a love letter to myself. And I was like, duh, I've written a love letter to everyone in my life, all my boyfriends. I'm very thoughtful, and I'm always professing my love to them. But I've never, ever written a love letter to the one person who means the most to me. The one person who's been here from the beginning. The one person who's picked me up when I've fallen down. Me. I'm that person. I'm the one I need to be in love with. You see, when you entered this course, you probably thought you were going to walk out with a new boyfriend. I'm sorry, but you're not. Or a new girlfriend. You're not. The goal of this course is for you to fall in love with yourself. And once you've fallen in love with yourself, truly fallen in love with yourself, you will attract exactly what you need into your life. If you don't fall in love with yourself, you're going to be in the same exact situation you just got out of. So, I want you to write a letter to yourself, and I wish I had mine with me. Unfortunately, I do not. It's the one thing I forgot to pack, but it said something like, I can at least still give you an example. I've read it a million times. Dear Jamie girl, you are the love of my life. You've been there with me the entire time, and you've picked me up when I needed you. You've been there when I needed you. You are such a great person. You love with all your heart. You do great things for others, and you really want to do good in the world. Everything about you blows me away. I don't know why I've never noticed it sooner. I'm sorry that it's taken me this long to fall in love with you and to see you for who and what you really are. Love me. And that was basically the gist of my letter. I remember having that realization in it about how, like, I've been with you the whole entire time and I've never looked at you this way. And I write that in my note, and it's so true. You are perfect. You were created, and the world wouldn't be the same if you weren't here. You need to really feel that. And you need to look at the things that you do well in life. What do you put into a relationship? What are you good at? What do you give your soul and heart to? How do you change people's lives or make things better? Answer all those things in your thing. Praise yourself. This was a huge movement for me. I have no problem looking at someone else and going, oh my gosh, I love this and this and this and this and this about you. But I'd never thought of doing it to myself. How crazy is that? I'm the most important person in my life. I'll be here long after my husband dies. Or I'll be alone in moments when there's no one else there for me. Or when I feel alone. Or when my children leave. There are going to be times when we won't always be with someone or feeling abandoned. people, it's hard to predict what we're going to go through and what our partner is going to go through. You know, if our partner loses their parents and they're distant for a little while as they deal with that, how are you going to deal with that? You know, I mean, there's so many different examples. And if you are in love with yourself, you will support your partner more than being needy and putting the pressure on them that you need them, that you can't live without them, that they can't have time for themselves to mourn over the loss of their parent because of your insecurity, because you don't really love yourself. You're finding your validation through someone else. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that this helps someone, but it's time to go write your love letter. Fall in love with yourself. You deserve it. You are worth it. And there are so many amazing things about you. I believe that with my whole heart. And you're one of a kind. In this whole entire universe, there's no one else like you. You're here for a reason. You have a purpose. You're unique and special. And the fact that you're here to make a change in your life, the fact that you're here because you're tired of struggling or feeling like crap, that says a lot about you. That you persevere, that you're strong, that you're smart. Those are all amazing things. Okay, the last thing is writing out my future. And this, I'm not joking you, has completely unfolded. It is completely unfolded for me with a man I met 7 years ago. Actually, probably 8, because we are about to celebrate our first year anniversary. So, funny story. This person is from out of town, and they moved here when I was in high school. So I don't even remember them, but supposedly they were in town and around. I guess they were around too when my brother was playing soccer, but I was away at college, so I wasn't paying any attention. I was off in my own world. And then after my heartbreak, my wedding being called off and moving home with a 3-month-old, I was introduced to them by a family member, my cousin's wife. And I remember, I still joke with him about this, he just loves it. I remember the first thing he said to me was, "I just want you to know that this is not a date." And I thought, the heck with him. So we went on a bike ride, and then we both went our separate ways. And about a year later, it looks like we connected on Facebook. I know all these details because I went back and looked at all of our history, and just because I was trying to figure it all out. I'm fascinated with this story. Absolutely fascinated. So, so a year later, we got connected on Facebook, and we're both teachers. So he kept contacting me every few years, like, "How are you doing? Do you still have your job?" And I say, "Oh yeah, I've got my job." And then we would like make small talk, maybe like say 1 or 2 more things. He's not really a talkative person. And I wouldn't hear from him for a few more years. And then, so this was after we went on that bike ride. So then I took this course, and I took a course, a love course to get my, because I realized that I was repeating patterns, and I realized I was attracting the same type of people into my life. So I knew after being in 3 4-year relationships, one of them was 5, and all of them leaving because they were curious or wanted someone else, I said, enough is enough. I'm not going through this again. I will do anything to help myself. And so when the student was ready, the teacher appeared, and Ellen showed up, and I took her course, and I had no clue the impact it would have on my life. I wanted results right away, and unbeknown to me, I didn't realize it was really about falling in love with myself, and that once I had done that, once I was in the right frame of mind, that it would attract something amazing into my life. So she had me, in the last course, she had me write this plan to the universe, and I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. And I had to be very specific. So, and I'm hoping he never watches this video because he has no clue about this. So I write this plan out, and it said something like, I'm going to meet this person by this month and this day. Or sorry, this month and this year. And I'm going to get engaged by this month and this year. That hasn't happened yet, but it's close. I can already tell. And I'm going to get married by this month and this year. There were other things too, and obviously everything before the engagement and the wedding. The only two things I'm waiting for right now are the engagement and the wedding. And when I say I'm waiting, I'm not really waiting. I think it's fascinating that it's all happening before I say it's going to. Because the way I set it up was by July 2027, this is going to happen. And I'm trying to think what else was on that plan. There were more than 3 things. Because I met him before the date I put. And there were other things. Anyways, again, I don't have that with me. I really apologize. So far everything has just unfolded. So I'll tell you how we met. I was at Kmart, and Ethan was throwing a huge fit because he wanted something, and he's an only child, so he thinks the whole world revolves around him, and I'm doing my best to teach him that it doesn't. But I'm human, and he wanted something, and I told him no, and he thought if he threw a fit, he'd get it. Well, when I say no, I mean no. Like, I never change my mind, because I know the minute you change your mind, they are going to extract your weakness and do this to you repeatedly over and over again. So I don't want to nip this throwing a fit thing in the butt. Still hasn't happened, but I'm working on it, and I have not given in. So I told him no, and you're the worst mom ever, and he kicks me. Of course, Ryan didn't see that part. And he's throwing this huge fit, and I am mad. I mean, furious. I grab him by the arm, and I'm like, get it, let's go, come on now. And I get him out in the parking lot. I'm like, get in the car right now. And I come around my car, I open my driver's door, and when I go to sit in my driver's seat, here's my boyfriend now, he wasn't then, getting into his truck, and I'm like, oh my God, someone I know just saw that, and I was devastated. So I was having kind of a crappy day. So I put on Facebook something about how terrible my day was, or how challenging my day had been. I didn't say terrible. I don't like to post negative stuff or complain online. And he was the first person to like it. So I messaged them and said, oh, how convenient that you're the first person to like it, since you're the one who got to witness all of that. And he made some comment like, yeah, I know you're the worst mom ever. And I'm like, what? You heard that? And he's like, yeah, but it really means you're the best mom ever. And I was like, oh, that's so nice of you, and blah, blah, blah. And that was the end of that conversation. And then I kept running into him. Like, I've never run into this person in the 8 years or 7 years at that time, 7 to 8 years that I had been in this town. I've never run into this person, and I continue to get running into this person. We have professional development. Out of all the people in the room, we get forced to sit next to each other. I ran into him on the way to Bunko. I ran into him in the hallways, and I had to go to the high school. Like, I was being told I had to go drop something off, or I had to go do something. I was running into him so much. Like, it was undeniable. He ended up having, I guess before I started running into him, though, I got a message from him about how he had hung out with my dad because they were cutting down trees. Because his friend is a friend of my dad's, they have a mutual friend. And that's kind of when our conversation got started. And then once we started talking on a regular basis, like more than just like a quick little bit, then we started running into each other like constantly because we didn't go on a date for like a whole month. We had just been talking. And so basically, and I totally believe this, the universe was like, listen, I'm going to make you guys collide into each other as many times as I need to until you go on a date. And then once we went on a date, we quit running into each other on accident. Now we just know where each other's at, and we don't run into each other unless we do it on purpose or a surprise. So that's kind of my story and how it all kind of unfolded. And I never would have thought that this person would have ever been into me. In fact, when you start a date with, I just want you to know this is not a date. Like, this is the last man on earth I would have expected to be interested in, or to have pursue me. And he likes to remind me that he is very picky. And he honestly, I'm the first girl he has dated, and like that the public knows, in 15 years. So this was a really big deal for him. It was a really big deal for me. And then the fact that we work for the same company was a really big deal that I was very much uncomfortable with. So yeah, and it all just kind of unfolded, and we go through some of the similar things, so we've been able to help each other with. We're very similar in a lot of ways. We get along really well. Everything just really flows, and it just feels right. And, I may change my mind. I'm not saying I will. I just, until there's a ring on my finger, I am not committed to anyone or married to anyone. And just because I have this plan of my future with specific dates on when I want things happening, doesn't mean I can't change my mind. So know that, the future that you plan out, it's real, but it doesn't mean it's set in stone. And it really does work. And it's amazing. It worked for me. And if you really believe it. Now, if you write down the plan and you don't believe it, it's not going to work. And honestly, I didn't think about it. I wrote it down on a piece of paper and just kind of let it go. And I let the universe do all the work. And then once I found him, and I put down things about him too that were true. Stuff like, I'm going to find a single man with a dog, and we are going to meet by this time. And I had put some specific things. So you want to do that too. Like, if you have any, like for me, it was important that I didn't want someone who with kids, because I feel like dating with children is really, really complicated. And to me, not that there's anything wrong with that, but to me, I'm overwhelmed with my situation. I would be overwhelmed trying to figure it out for both of us. So for me, I wanted someone who loved my child, who was open to being in a relationship with someone who had a child, but had a dog and not kids of their own. So be specific about what you want, and you just can't be too specific. Like, you can't be like, so my ex-boyfriend Ken, I want Ken, and this is what I want Ken to do, and this is what I want Ken to be. Like, we can't be that specific, but we can say, I desire someone with a dog who is going to meet me by this time, and we're going to go on a first date by this time, and we're going to have this in common, and we're going to have these values in common. Like, you can be that specific. It's just that, and that's kind of the fun part, the universe is going to throw in whoever that ends up being, and you're going to be shocked. you're going to be shocked as all get out because you are going to be like, are you serious? Like, I remember with Ryan thinking, you've been here this entire time and I've never noticed you. We tried going on a date and you didn't want anything to do with it. Like, we've been, it happened at the time it was supposed to, the way it was supposed to, and to be completely honest, I would never have attracted him if I didn't do the work on myself first. So, anyways, I hope this helps. I love you guys. Thank you so much for taking this course. I love and desire all feedback that you have for me. I really appreciate you all participating, and I hope to make this better for people in the future. Thanks, everyone. God bless. If you need anything, or if you have amazing shifts or things that are happening in your life because of something I said or did, please, please, please share so I know that what I'm doing is making a difference in people's lives. Thanks, guys. Good night.